My name is Ed Hipkins, and today I'm going to go over how I created a emotive, dynamic, generative language for an NPC in FMOD. This whole thing was built for an R&D project with Aardman and BBC Interactive, and the brief was to create an emotional connection with a character. This was really exciting because I love building as much of an emotional story into my sound design as I possibly can. And so this is right up my alley. So let's just have a quick listen to, let's choose, I don't know, Unease 3, Unease 2. Let's put it down here. Good. So how's that working? So let's have a look at this. So I've used these randomizers, and they contain sort of a bunch of different words. Okay. And then it picks randomly from the word list. Okay, fairly simple. The problem I came up with and the problem I had to solve was, how do I make it sound like a language as opposed to a big bunch of garbled sound? So the first thing, obviously, was making it monophonic. So putting the polyphony down to 1. And then, so it plays one word at a time, otherwise it sounds horrendous. The other thing to do was to try and break up those words into sentences, into paragraphs, and into kind of thoughts. So what I've done is I've introduced different lengths of silence, which you then can add a percentage probability to, depending on how broken up you want it to be. So for example, in Unease 2, silence. And you can obviously adjust these percentages depending on how it's sounding. So if we go down to Unease 1, you'll notice that the vocalizations are shorter. A bit spikier. But this 24 beat nothing here, this 24 beats of silence, which is 3 seconds, is 30%. So that it introduces lots more long silences because it's supposed to be uneasy. So it's like utters, vocalizes, stops. Vocalizes, stops. Whereas this is slightly more coherent. And as you go up, it gets a bit chattier, basically. Okay, cool. What is the logic? So each one of these can go to every other one. So you can see this is worry, and it can go to unease 2, to normal, to charming, to attentive, which is all the ones in this block, which is kind of emotions 1. And then act 2 of the level, it was going to be happy. So it was going to go over here and stay over here. But you can also, these blocks running on the top, you've got a positive interaction, you've got a negative interjection, you've got to cheerful, you've got to happy. Okay, so you can, depending on where you put this, you can go to all these different places. So let's have a negative interjection. Say you've just thrown a brick at it. And then you want it to go back to unease or something like that. So these signposts here take it back to these emotions. These, you can go over to here. So we've got to positive interjection, to negative interjection, to cheerful, to happy. And all the values, I highly recommend anyone that's new to FMOD or not worked with programmers to write down everything you're doing over here so someone can pick it up and be like, what's going on here? Even for yourself for later, if you haven't seen this for a couple of years and you pick it up, you go, that's what all that did. Great. Top tip. Okay. So sonically, the NPC was supposed to be a manifestation of like multiple personalities. Okay. It was kind of a legion characters. There's lots of different things working behind it. So as the emotions change, the timbre of the voice changes also. So let's just have a very quick listen to it all. Ooh, chatty. Oh, I missed that normal. Never mind. Let's go all the way to charming. Say you. That's it, really. So the main thing was obviously having lots of different sounds or words or syllables within the randomizer, which make up the meat of your language. But then Something that's maybe not necessarily logical is adding silence to break up those of different lengths and then adding a percentage to those silences. Okay, so I hope that's helped. I hope that's been interesting. I hope that's been useful. And yeah, thanks very much for listening.